Well, kids, what do you say about that one? Golden Knights lose its third straight here at T-Mobile Arena. Shutout for the second time all season long. They lose 3-0 to Columbus. Columbus, a decent team. Columbus actually out of the playoff picture right now. They've got 52 points now. I believe the Golden Knights still stuck at 54. I don't know where the standings are at. I know the Knights were tied with Arizona for first place in the Pacific, but then you've got Edmonton and Calgary, I think, are both 1 point behind coming into tonight. And the Golden Knights not going to be back here for a while, so I don't know if you're all checking the schedule closely or not, but February 8th, it's almost a full month. It's 28 days. I knew you'd get on here, Ron. Yeah, another really poor effort and start to finish. And this one, Ron, and hey, Matt, this one different because there was no fight back from the Knights. And I know you can say that after or during the LA game, but really just no resiliency here today. So I would make the argument that this, the Kings one was pretty bad, but this might be the worst game out of the last four, right, that the Knights have had that 3-0 deficit to start out with. So Gerard Gallant saying soft. Not the effort that this team needed to have. Clearly, not good enough for anybody in the locker room. Obviously, Nate Schmidt was out there and Mark Stone was out there. I only caught the tail end of Stone, but Nate understands and realizes, it's not so much what Columbus did, although they played a good game. It's just the Knights couldn't get anything going. No action in front of the net. That second period was pretty atrocious, right? Even though they put 11 shots on goal and limited Columbus to 2, there wasn't anything exciting about it. And I don't know if you noticed this. I'll get to your comments here in a second, guys. But Gerard Gallant pointed it out. I'm glad he did, right? With about 6 minutes to go, Shea Theodore landed a hit, and the crowd kind of gave a sarcastic roar. Maybe it wasn't so much sarcastic, but it really was one of the few roars of the game. And now the Vegas fans going to have to sit with this bad feeling here for a bit. And maybe the road trip is a good thing. But again, 7 games at home, you got to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, they lose the last 3 here. Win the first 4, lose the last 3 of the homestand, and outscored big time, right? Well, especially in the first period, right? 9-0 they were scored in first period, outscored in first periods entering this game, and then you can maybe add it to the 3 here throughout the game. Why is the Pacific so bad? A lot of parity, Ron. I feel like the Pacific is like the Mountain West, where there's no real standout team. And I'm talking about football, I guess. Basketball this year, clearly San Diego State's kind of the runaway team. Let's see here. Matt had a comment, right? Goaltending. Yeah, I got to watch the thing. Fleury and Subban need to be better, much better. Yeah, and the numbers prove that, Matt. I don't think there's any question about that. Fleury, you clearly can see he's not the same since his father passed. And there was another story that came out this week some point, right, just reflecting about his dad. And not to say it's an excuse, but I don't think we can say it's not an excuse, right? And he's missing the All-Star game, skipping it, because he's got to do a little reset on the brain, and that makes sense to me. But absolutely, that third goal was not a pretty one, even though his team was not helping him out at all at this game. But it went 3-0 as opposed to that really flashy glove save that he had just moments before letting up that third goal. So kind of a yin and yang for Marc-Andre Fleury here. Again, you see what he is, right? One of the greatest goaltenders ever, and how quickly he can move his body still. That glove save, a great indicator of that. Sorry. Scrolling back up. Truly embarrassing the last 3 games. Yeah. I mean, you can't fall behind 3-0 to any team in the NHL, right? So we'll just see what happens. Long road trip, and on this road trip, I don't know if I heard it on the broadcast, but they're playing 4 teams that they have not played all season. So change of scenery, change of team. We'll see what happens. Just not good enough. And Jonathan Marchessault show was also something Turk talked about and Nate Schmidt talked about. But I feel like you need more guys like that. Mark Stone is one of those guys, but who else is really fiery like that? I mean, Marchessault seems to be the emotional leader of this team. And we'll just, see Gallant hoping he comes back for the next game. Media to call this team out and be real. Soft media too. Yeah, thanks, Ron. I'm not included in that. I know. I'm just going to glance over it. 5 has to go in favor of an offensive D-man. I don't know, and I wasn't paying attention too much, Glenn, because I was falling asleep in the second period. But as of late, I think Derek England has played fairly well. Right, the new system has really helped him out. He hasn't been hung out to dry nearly as much as maybe we've seen in previous games. I didn't like Cody Eakin on the penalty kill. The second penalty kill, I think right before the goal was scored, he was just kind of lost on one of the possessions, and kind of left Fleury hung out to dry. So I won't be back here for a minute, right? Matt and I were going to have to do a show. Maybe we'll just park out in front of T-Mobile Arena and see what we can do. But that's a Golden Knights lose its third in a row here at T-Mobile Arena. Won't be back until they play the Hurricanes February 8th. And let's see what the road trip brings. The All-Star break and the bye week all mixed up into that road trip as well. Trade's coming. We'll see, Ron. All right, signing off. We'll see you guys maybe in a month here at T-Mobile Arena.